What else we got here? Oh, the defenders have got a few Iron Reapers as well. They've only got 2 sets of Shenju. No, 3 sets of Shenjus. That's interesting. How many do the attackers have? The attackers only have 1
Only
Shenju.
one, yes.
That is brave. Like, Shenju's being the only CC unit that's still available to you. I would have expected both teams to almost have 5.
That's true, especially on that map, because
Yeah.
if they defend, as we said, behind the C point, so we need some Shenji to kill some units.
Halberdier sergeants as well are in the mix. We've got Imperial Spear Guard as well. Stalwarts, obviously. I didn't see many IPGs either. I didn't see many IPGs, which is interesting. I thought maybe there would be a couple of IPGs, but obviously there wasn't.
Thank you so much. Okay,
perfect. There's always like a mini lag spike as it kicks off. So it looks like the defending team are going to pull straight back towards C.
And they won't defend A and B.
It won't take long for the attackers to see that the defenders have pulled back as well. They'll get the breaches down, they'll get the gate down, get the towers in just in case. And then they'll probably double cap A and B almost at the same time. And then the fight probably will start around the C area.
And they defend inside the C point. Generally, they defend behind and not inside. So it's interesting to see.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see some like counter pushes, or like if they come up the main staircase to go towards the C point. I wouldn't be surprised if we see GumFaction sally out and literally fight at the top of the staircase. We'll have to wait and see though, because there was a few teams yesterday that did like really good counter pushes when the attacking team were coming up them stairs, because you can hit them from multiple sides and it's difficult to get attacks off. And no teams have got flames as well, so there's going to be no Flammenwerfer all over the place, which could make
they have a lot of time to wait because. It will take 3 minutes for the A, 3 minutes for B. I think it's 3 minutes on that map, if I'm right. So it will be 16 minutes. And maybe 19 if they take the C point. So
I reckon by the time they get the gate and stuff down, and they get the towers, and then they get their units and the resupply and stuff, they'll generally have about 15 minutes when they start looking at the fighting on C. They've already got the breach down next to C as well, by the way, going through the supply.
And they already destroyed the wall on C.
Yeah. Artillery-wise, the defenders have placed nothing so far as well. So if for the viewers at home, the people watching, if you look at the very top bar on the HUD, you've got obviously the time right slap bang in the middle, and then you've got the heroes to either side, and then you've got the units a little bit further away, and then on the far right you've got the defending artillery. There's 15. On the far left, you've got 30 for the attackers, and then next to that, you've got the amount of trebuchets they've got left. Just to break that down, because we'll probably be referencing that a few times during the fight.
And for the moment, nobody is using artillery, even on sorry, even on defensive side. Sorry, my voice. They don't use any artillery, so.
Although Morales is putting the first one down, he's like east of C point. He's along one of the walls upon a tower, and he's just placed a ballista down so he can shoot the supply that's like east of A. And a longsword from the defenders, I think that's a Boldar, has just jumped on the culverin that was already placed as well, just so they can start doing a little bit more damage. A quick fly over the map to see if the defenders have put any sneaky troops in the tunnels or anything. I don't think they have.
They use one trap for.
We're gonna have no shenanigans going on in the tunnels. I didn't actually see any assassins being picked from either side either. So I reckon that was maybe a mind game from RoyalLegion, unless it is specifically for their defensive strategy.
They use a lot of shield or pike. When you look at the units, we have Shin Maiden, we have some Neon, Skullwork, so...
The defenders have still got the western resupply next to C as well, the one that's really close. So if the attackers don't get that, that's an opportunity for the defenders to quickly rotate and get new units out. The defenders are slowly placing more ballistas. It's the second one to get Treb now. I think, yeah, Sheppel is the guy that's placed the second one there. That's obviously forcing them to use Trebs early. And with each ballista shot, even if they don't get a hero, it definitely kills units instantly with it.
They use 4 mortar on the supply points. So it's the start of the artillery battle.
Yeah, yeah. Between the two supplies as well, like just where the B cap is, there's just like 3 or 4 mortars being placed as well from the attacking team. So they've already used 7 of theirs. They've got a lot of. They're building even more at the supply next to A as well. They're going to just start mortaring GumFaction. Hell, but GumFaction are just moving their units. They're doing the correct thing. They've got a few guys safe as well. They've got a few guys on the seaside resupply. And they're just going to try keeping their guys moving so they can avoid as many of the mortars as possible. You have to look out though, they've got like 4 or 5 units all stacked up towards the eastern gateway, leaving the sea point, but on the inside. If they start getting those mortars zoned in, which they are now, they're going to start losing units. They've got a few longswords there as well to keep topping health up, but
they cannot stay long time on that point because there are a lot of. They take a lot of shoots. As you can see, the pike.
There's at least 11 mortars down from the attackers so far, and all of them
they start moving.
Aiming.
So. On the right on the sea point, you can see maybe they will. No, they won't fight there. Early we had some units from the defensive team to the gate, so
the attackers have taken the seaside supplies. Well, they've actually placed a few of their units in the tunnels as well. That's just to keep them out of mortar range or something, so they can't get hit from the outside. I'll locate the defending artillery because they've placed 3.
They will be. They will hide into the tower.
Unit-wise, the defenders obviously starting to hemorrhage a little bit more troops than the attackers are, but that's obviously they're getting hammered by like 12 mortars. So seaside resupply's now got mortars as well.
When you see about quality units, you have 100 5-star units difference for the defensive team. So it can be a difference for the fight.
GumFaction are moving back now. It looks like they're going to change units out. They just sent a lot back to the resupply. Them out of mortar range, maybe. And they've decided to move everything back away from sea. Yes, they're not actually going to fight at sea.
No, they
maybe
will
lost
defend
50 to 60 units on that phase. That they've made RoyalLegion though place almost half of their artillery complement. So there's only going to be 5 artillery difference for the base. Oh well. This fight that's going to happen behind sea and then for the base point. Now, basically RoyalLegion have to start their artillery phase again. And this could mean that GumFaction are going to have the artillery advantage if they get to base point. Or when they get to base point is probably the shout.
I think they plan
have now got 2 Shenjis up at base as well.
I think GumFaction has planned to defend behind because they use a lot of artillery and before they didn't use one. So now they will take the advantage with artillery.
Yeah. They've got their artillery spread out as well. They've got 3 sets right behind the sea point going towards the resupply, but there's 2 grape shots as well, so that's when the push actually comes. They've got 1 mortar backing that up as well to do a little bit of poke damage. Like up on the platform, going up the stairs towards base point, there's a mortar as well. They've just placed more, but where have they placed more? I think as you go through the breach, they've placed multiple grape shots, I believe. Can't really see because they've got so many units stacked on top of each other. I can't see exactly where they're placed though. But they've only got 6 left, so... Ah, there's a covering on top of this tower here. That Gladsheim's on. He's trying to counter artillery onto the sea point. That's a good position from where he's at, so they'll have a few guys. So Rallingen's there as well. As soon as that covering gets destroyed, he'll place another one so they can just keep getting rid of as much of the artillery as possible. I can't see where they've placed everything else though. Did they place stuff at base already? No.
So it's currently well defended, so... About units, that it's the same. Nothing changed.
No.
12 minutes
this is the
remaining.
phase that we run about at the beginning. This is the long phase of the game. This is like where the main artillery battle happens. Obviously, both teams want to get their money's worth out of their artillery, because why you lose your units or your heroes? Heroes being extremely important. You can only die 3 times.
Exactly.
So wearing down the enemy as much as possible here is extremely important. The attackers might actually have to move some of their units out. They've lost loads on C. It looks like they're all rotating now to get as close to the wall as possible. But if GumFaction get mortars like zoned in on that area, they could start doing damage. It looks
start
like
to rotate, they
already.
will enter on the
through the breach. We've got Iron Reapers set up, we've got Stalwarts, we have Shenjis nearby as well. They're going to come out from base point now above them from Morales and Bravo.
It's really hard to attack from that point because it's like a sandwich now. They have to defend on the left and on the right, so it's really
because
difficult.
they have no Shenjis and GumFaction have just wiped them.
I think 5 heroes died with that cavalry charge. So
that was very well set up from GumFaction. They had 2 Shenjis up at the base point, and as soon as the push came, they moved them straight out onto the plateau above them. There's a short bow on there now, that's Bravo. And they basically bombed into the massive, like the big fight, completely flattened the whole front line, like the whole Zerg of the attacking team. And then when the cavalry charge come across, just absolutely wiped it. That was very nicely timed.
Very nice defense, and no, they have well, they lost very few units. If you see about unit difference, so
40,
they have,
40, 50 maybe. I think they just lost, if that. And the defenders, sorry, the attackers are at 888 now. So there's
and they lost
200 unit disparity
all 5-star units. They don't. They still have 43 5-star units, so it's really a big difference.
Yeah.
And it's the second trebuchet they use for that that artillery. So.
Yeah,
right.
I think that's maybe another one. Oh no, it's got 10 ammo. Yeah, I think that's maybe a new culverin because that's got 10 ammo. But that culverin's good that they've placed there if it can stay alive, because they can use it from the tower and keep like 1 damage in enemy units. And if they place like mortars or any other artillery, they can actually hit a lot of it from there. Oh, but now the attacking the attacking muskets have seen it and just black powder bombed it. Defenders have only got 3 more artillery to play though.
Yes. Main
Lost. No, they are losing their artillery towards the resupply as well, because the attackers have got muskets on the wall. They're black powder bombing down and getting rid of that. The attackers have still got 9 of their own artillery though, so they may maybe use it a little bit more now. Do a bit more damage before they do the next push. They still have 9 minutes, so they don't need to panic. They've still got more than enough units, so they basically only lost 1 push worth.
I look at the units, and for the attacking team, well, we have a lot of pikes.
Halberdier sergeants mixed in as well. They've got their own Shenji out now. They've got shield maidens.
For GumFaction, we have shield maiden, we have Shenji, Camel, Imperial.
The Shenjis from the attacking team now is going to help massively with the push, but I really do feel like they should be using more artillery for this phase. I think that what they're thinking is they'll save it for the base push, but if they don't use it now, I don't think there's going to be a base push.
Yes.
Because if you look up towards base point for GumFaction now, they've still got their 2 Shenjis up there controlled by Bravo and Morales. As soon as the push comes, they just need to move along that platform, like balcony almost, and they can bomb whichever way they push, and they're pushing through the archway now towards the resupply.
They try to push from the gate, so they rotate so quickly.
Is David's B's javelin sergeants as well? You've got the bombs coming in from Bravo and Morales now as well.
And the Shenji shoots
together.
And now we'll have the cavalry, I think, because guy with
by the Alex with the cavalry charge just absolutely cleared up. I think he got 5, 6. He definitely got the God of War. I think he killed 5 or 6 of the enemy heroes there.
The fight before 4 hero and 1 charge, so now it's 6, so 2 more heroes. So
here comes the Shenji bombs as well. I wonder if GumFaction there with that second bomb throw should have tried getting rid of the attackers' Shenjis. It's too late now because they've managed to pull back. But that was a decisive. I think that went slightly better for the attackers. I'm saying that, no it didn't. There's 585 attacking units, and defenders have still got 897. There was a treb that just went down on the supply point though. There was Imperial Shield Guard, but with no backup they're not going to be able to do much. And GumFaction have just sallied with a few things back onto the C point. I think it's just like the rest of their units though. They've got them on V attack. There is cavalry now. Is that Dagger Lance?
Based on the supply point.
Or camels. We got camels, and I think Dagger Lancers are pushed through the breach and up towards base. There are no defenders here. They should, they can't close the gate though because there's so many heroes there. And it looks like GumFaction are gonna reset to the base point because they can't let them. Yeah, there's so many swarming through the breach now. They're gonna have to fight on base point.
They're all moving. They're all moving to the base point.
Yeah, they had to there. I think they didn't really have the choice. And now it looks like the
battlefield. We have a lot of cavalry.
Yeah. You need it if you want to move quick. So there's a lot of GumFaction on base point. RoyalLegion have got quite a few units at the bottom, but I think they're going to get pushed back out now. They're going to struggle now. There's only Pike Militia blocking that. There was Dagger Lancers behind them, but they've been forced back.
They will try on the... No, they don't try.
Now RoyalLegion going to go for the supply as well, but GumFaction have got units and they've got hero advantage. They might push out here. I think they've chose caution. They've pulled back.
Double, they have double units.
They've got double units, yeah. Artillery-wise, they've got 3 for the defenders, still 7 for the attackers, and still 7 trebuchets. The attackers now, they've got 5 minutes. They need to place. They need to use all of their artillery on their attack if they want to stand the chance of winning. They need to have a few mortars at the beginning to soften them up. There's like a tower. If you look, what's the direction? If you look like northwest over the base point, like there's that one tower that you can climb on top of, and you've got like a really good view straight across the plaza, if you like, towards the flag. You can place a couple of artilleries up there, maybe a cheeky ballista, and start doing some damage with a mortar. And then as soon as they push on, they need to do grape shotcrete, otherwise they're going to struggle to win this. Because they need to kill as many of the defending heroes as possible, and so far they just haven't done that.
They came on, but they don't take any units, so...
Nah.
It's too late.
That Treb there's going to hit their own units. They're going to wipe their own unit of camels there with that Treb.
Oh.
I think they definitely did more damage to their own units than they did to the shield guard there. Got time though, they can still do this. There's a chain dart in the back as well. Shepard's just jumped into the back of some Dagger Lancers that were just chilling on the resupply side. Shepard would have taken a unit there, that would have been gone.
The 8 hero died 2 times, so if they will die one other time, they will be out for the game.
Here we go though. They've placed their foot, now they're placing artillery. Here we go, we've got multiple ballistas going down, we've got a grape shot as well. The rest of the guys with their artillery, when they start moving forward, literally need to start leapfrogging with grape shots. And they need to kill heroes.
We have 1, check, 2, 3.
Defenders have placed everything now, they've got 1 more artillery left to place.
2 heroes from RoyalLegion were out of the game.
They're already out of the game, are they? Oh yeah, there's only 13 of them, yeah. They've been losing massively hero kills wise.
Yes.
It could be as well that some of their artillery pieces are from those 2 guys that are missing, so they've only got 2 left to place. They've got all their artillery at the back. GumFaction have retaken the resupply towards the sea.
Yes.
If they got a flank all the way around and charged up those stairs, they would kill a lot of that cavalry that's just sat there, because none of it's braced. They've got none of it facing backwards. They've got the units to just throw away as well, to be fair. And I think maybe...
Will he try Sky?
Skybreak's going to do now with his camels, yeah.
No, he come back.
Is he going to come back, is he?
Oh, no, he go.
Oh, he's coming now. Look, he's going to come for a back flank. It's only 1 unit, but because his unit's going to be on the charge and the attackers aren't, and they've got nothing facing that direction, he should actually do fairly well.
Oh, no hero, only units. Oh, no.
Obviously, he's going to come back in from the push now. The push is coming. The attackers have only got 2 artillery to place, if they can place artillery. They've got a lot of camels, though, so they've got a lot of hit points.
Look at Skybreak, so... What's he
coming now, isn't he?
He's fighting now with...
And he can just jump on their artillery and just use it against them, although he's destroying it instead. Okay, I thought maybe he might jump on and try using it against the attackers. GumFaction is starting to clear up their heroes again now.
It's a big difference on hero fight. As you can see, no GumFaction hero was died.
and the camel push has been annihilated. So GumFaction have done extremely well there, and now they've cleared up. They basically completely wiped them.
Each
very
heroes,
nice defense. Very nice defense.
Yes, very nice defense. Each hero from GumFaction stay close from each other, so it was very nice to fight, because when one person from RoyalLegion tried to fight them, so it was always a
always
disadvantage.
Outnumbered. Yeah,
2 against 4 or 5. So
very nicely done from GumFaction. So they're pushing back out now, probably to just take resupplies and stuff. But I don't even think RoyalLegion are going to have any more spawns, are they? I think
there's 5 hero maybe. But most of them are died 3 times. So
yeah. Oh, there's a couple of guys with a timer on, so they'll be coming back in. But they're basically just going to get hunted now. Here we go. There's a musket that's populated back in. The roller, he's going to struggle here. Yeah. And now the farming begins. There's only a minute left though. Well done to GumFaction though. Like normally the attacker always wins on this.
Yes.
Well, not always, but it's attacker friendly.
It's a great advantage for them for the second match, because as you said, it's an advantage to attack this map.
I honestly thought as well how RoyalLegion started with their artillery placement that they would do extremely well. But then they just like had that middle phase where they placed no artillery, did 2 pushes and got brutalized. It was a shame, man. It was the Shenjis. It was the 2 Shenjis with the key units that were up on the balcony between, like if you go towards the supply behind C and then go up the 2 massive staircases towards the base, like on that top platform where the Shenjis were placed. And as soon as the push came, like both times, they just moved them out, got them into a good position, and just bombed like the choke point, and just wiped the whole front line. So GumFaction.
So well done, GumFaction.
Yeah, extremely well done. Who was MVP then? MVP for the attacking team was RGI Akinox. I think it's Akinox probably. He was 0, 3, 2, and 91. He also had the most units killed. I think most assists was 3. You can see though that the heroes killed was very low for the attacking team. The highest was 2.
6 against
6 in
39.
Total. Yeah.
It's a big difference.
Massive difference.
And well done, Morales. 3, 0, 10, and more than 100 units killed.
Yeah.
And
highest units in total was Gladsheim, I believe.
When you see about assist, so 10, 9, 12, so there are a lot of kills. And about units, so well, we can see 500 units and more than double units.
I think their plan is going to be just belly flop their way to victory. There being only Shenjis as CC. They've only brought, from what we can see, 1 themselves. No, 2 themselves. And this time the defenders also
got a free Shenji.
A lot of halberdier sergeants are the defenders as well. Myrmilones, stalwarts. Not that many fought Brachio from what I could see. There might not have even been any, which is very strange. I know that halberdier sergeants are better at killing heroes, you could almost argue, than fought Brachio, but if cavalry comes, halberdier sergeants are not as good at stopping cavalry as fought Brachios are. That's an interesting move from the defenders.
You see, maybe I don't think they will defend A or B, but maybe we will have a surprise.
I mean, they would have done some sort of scrimming, wouldn't they? The general tactic is to start the fight around the C point. It looks like nobody's going back to resupply to get some cheeky. There was no Hashashins as well, by the way. There was literally no Hashashins on both teams, so that was just a bait pick, or just like for the lols or something, I suppose. Nobody's gone tunnel attackers or defenders from what I can see.
They will try the same strategy as GumFaction. They set up inside the C point.
I think that's maybe just to try and make them waste artillery. And then just like force them to start placing artillery. And then start moving back once the first shots start coming in, because then the artillery is wasted.
They have destroyed the bridge on the sea.
Yeah. It's already instantly down. Yeah, the breach on the eastern side is open as well to the A side supply. The breach at B doesn't really... Oh, somebody's just left the battle. Galahad from the defenders.
I don't know if they will It's a reload to restart.
I would maybe just keep going, and you can just rejoin, because the beginning phase nothing happens anyway. We'll just keep going as if there's not going to be a restart, because as you can see, there's going to be a few minutes until anything kicks off anyway, and Galahad should just rejoin in a second.
Check on
the Discord.
Galahad. And it's count as 1 killed.
I almost feel like there's a competition on GumFaction as well to see who's the worst player. Like, I would have actually guessed beforehand that it's definitely Fatal. But with Skybreak dying the most, I think he's like, you know what, Fatal? I want your throne. And then he just decided to play as worse as he could. We'll see on this match, though, who is the worst. So they've pushed through. They are taking A. They've obviously got a guy capping B already. They've got the supply at A also. Who's that over at B? Is that Sheppel? No, Bravo and Wonderful. So they're going to probably move up and get the seaside supply.
And Galahad is not on the game, huh? Still died, so maybe
they pulled back from C, so they're not going to fight C. Sometimes it does take a while to get back into the game, though, so he might be back in a second. Like if he's had to completely shut down the game, say, and re-come back in. Yes, they pulled everything back from C, so that means GumFaction can just go straight in now and get on the C and cap it already.
And they will defend behind. It's a usual strategy with we have.
I think that's a mistake though with the artillery that's in play on this rule set, because GumFaction have got 29 artillery for basically 2 fights. So you've got technically like the 1 fight straight behind the C point now, like behind the walls. Then you've got the fight on the base point.
And 17 minutes.
And they've got a lot of time to do this. And GumFaction normally will be quite happy to use a few minutes now to start getting rid of enemy artillery, to start weakening unit defenses and then pushing through. As you see as well for the defenders, RoyalLegion have put their Shenjis in the exact same spot that GumFaction did on their defense, but they've only got 1 of them, whereas GumFaction had 2. GumFaction's still got 2 of their own out, so they can do a little bit more damage with their Shenjis when they do get them up.
You've seen where Shenji are located? I don't see where...
Shenji for the defenders are up towards base point under the archway between the main stairs.
Ah yes, I see them.
And from GumFaction, they're on the seaside supply in that big round tower, so they can get it easily up onto the wall probably, and they'll move them around in a second once they start. Once they've got rid of some of the artillery that's going to be able to counter shoot them, and then they'll move them up and to bomb them. Probably just before they do a push, though.
And I think if they use the Shenji where is located to Alex and Nasu, I think they can shoot the units behind the wall.
If you look where Sheppel's just placed his Shenji, though, he's like on the seaside supply wall, but like further towards the back supply, if that makes sense. It's difficult to try and explain. It's like the northern arm of the wall, if you like.
Close to Bravo.
Going up, yeah, there's exactly where Bravo's just built his mortar. Exactly. So I don't think you can bomb over there that well. I think it's a bit janky and it doesn't quite reach. They have to like move them onto the front facing wall and then bomb from there. Otherwise they just miss most of their bombs, I think. And obviously as soon as they move them onto there, there's going to be counter artillery. Although the defenders have only got 3 left to place, and they've lost, I think, all of this. Oh no, they've got a couple of great shots still alive. Yes. Oof, they're going to struggle now then. And the attackers have still got 19 artillery.
And Galahad is back on the game, so it's 15-15.
Galahad is back, yeah.
But he's died 1 time.
That count as a die when if you get kicked? Does it? Oof, that's rough.
It's hard for him.
Yeah. I don't think that would be make that much of a difference in this matchup if we're being fair, because this is an attacking map and GumFaction did very well on their defense, and I would be shocked if they didn't win their attack, if I'm honest. But we'll see. Maybe RoyalLegion can shock us, and I'll have to eat my words, which I would be very happy to do.
They use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mortar, 7, maybe 8.
Very good treb just came in from GumFaction as well. RoyalLegion managed to avoid a lot of damage, but they did lose, it looks like maybe a third of a stalwart unit to that one treb. Obviously, mortar fire is going off continuously. They are doing a lot of damage, and there's not many longswords for the defenders. They've got maybe 2 that I can see. Maybe even only 1, and he's not going to be able to heal, like regen heal, all of the units that are running around. And obviously, because there's no doctrines or anything, there's going to be no like extra healing that way. So GumFaction are starting to move some shield units up. That's maybe just to protect some of their artillery. Not that the defenders have really got artillery left to place.
And GumFaction use... They don't have a lot of shield unit, GumFaction.
I think maybe though they'll change before they push.
I think so.
They've still got units down at the resupply as well. They've got time. They've got like 13.5 minutes, so they're. I've seen GumFaction before literally use every second that they think they've got available to them. Like all the artillery that they'll place, they'll use all the ammo. They're even building another one now. Look. And they'll get rid of all of the ammo before they like, not right now we'll push. Because the most damage that they can do, the better for them on their pushes. Because if there's less units on the field when they do their push, it's easy to kill heroes. If, like what's happening at the minute, there's people rotating back to either heal their heroes or swap heroes out and they push, or units even, they've got it easier in the fights as well. They'll outnumber they'll have the numbers in the fights as well. So they will, like, get every penny worth out of these artillery before they push in. They've got the time to do it as well, so I don't blame them. Maybe not the most riveting gameplay to watch, but it is the best way to win.
It's usual on Reginopolis. We have a lot of time with artillery battle, so we have to wait. And generally, when it's 6 minutes left, they will try to attack. Yeah.
The unit difference is now getting a bit close. Obviously, the defenders started with a lot more infantry than the attackers did. So the unit difference at the beginning wasn't, like, the leadership-wise, I think attackers brought a few more units that were a higher leadership cost. That's why they had a slightly less units to begin with. And obviously, because of this constant artillery barrage, they've placed 20 pieces of artillery already. What the hell? Back on the supply, they didn't hit anything though.
It's a strategy to trap that point, but this time there are no units.
I think they trebbed it, and on this map it does sometimes take quite a long time for the trebs to actually arrive. And I think they trebbed when they seen the unit on the point instead of going to it, and then they were already running off before the trebs even come in though. So there is only 1 artillery to be placed for the defenders. And I don't think they have any more artillery that's still alive.
Yes, and 1 remaining, so...
And the attackers have still got 9. I wouldn't be surprised if we see just grape shots on the end point when they eventually do push.
And still 9 trebuchet remaining. It's a lot.
Yeah, they're starting to move slower infantry units to the front line as well now. Probably what they'll do is, there's 1 Shenji unit moving along the wall, they'll get rearmed and then they'll go for their push. As soon as they're back in with their grenades. The defenders, they've got hot busted here with his unit up at the base point is Shenji. I can't see where he is on the map though. Oh, there he is. He's on like the second tier of the balcony going towards base point. So he's gonna have to keep his eye open. Oh, they've got a second Shenji out now, so Akinox has got his Shenjis, although he just used his bombs on heroes. Isn't ideal, because if a push comes now, they're not going to have their CC. As soon as Bravo and Sheppel's Shenjis come up from that resupply, they're going to move. And they're basically congregating everything on the C point now, so push is going to come very shortly.
So, well,
if I were GumFaction, if they've seen this, I would push out of the right-hand archway, go through the breach, a few units to the left-hand side to block, and just rush everything up the stairs to the base point. Because there's only, what, 2 or 3 guys in the way on the right-hand side going up towards base. I wonder if they've seen that.
They know there are no artillery remaining for defending team because They are all set up inside the sea, and they prepare to push.
And the push is going to come now. So Lorcar's just built a grape shot, although the grape shot got instantly destroyed by Poyeb. Good play by Poyeb jumping over the gap there and instantly belly flopping it to get rid of it. So everything from GumFaction is congregated on the C point now, and the question is, they're going to go archway towards supply or go breach? If I was them, I would honestly go breach, main push up the staircase, put a few units on the back lines to block the, if you like, the reinforcements from RoyalLegion, and just do a massive push up to base, and then try getting round to the gate out and blocking them so they can't get up the stairs. We'll see what they do though.
Shenji will be
ready,
to move. So they will try to rotate. Maybe. Yes.
They're rotating camels? It looks like... They could just be baiting then and they'll go archway in a second, we'll see. They're going to go archway, I think they just did it with their heroes.
Oof, c'est très bon Shenji.
Yeah, yeah. And that's
their best
unit at the back.
So...
Still 2 units of them though, so they've come through the archway.
Through the gates.
That Shenji throw was very good from the defenders though. There's not as many cavalry though for the defenders like there was for GumFaction. Although GumFaction did just lose a hero.
Yes, 2 heroes died. 3, oh.
Multiple heroes of the attackers have died now as well. The attacking team's Shenjis are bombing as well the whole time.
They take an advantage now.
Yeah, they are slowly pushing through because they've done so much work with the artillery. Both teams have dropped similar amounts of heroes though, to be fair.
But for the defending team, they were not on the gate, so that's why GumFaction was able to go through the gate.
Hero losses the same. Unit-wise, it looks like GumFaction definitely won the unit battle. Heroes, it was almost identical, but they definitely won the unit fight. Even with the Shenjis up on the balcony from the defenders, it wasn't enough to stop just the pure numbers that were left on the field. I think it's because they'd used their artillery to its utmost. Like most of the units that were still out on the field for RoyalLegion were so weak by the time that push came. But there was nothing more that they could do really.
I know they have an advantage for units. 100 units.
And they've got 5 artillery as well.
And 5-star units difference. 100 more.
And this is where RoyalLegion can have a big problem because there's still 5 trebs to come in, there's still 5 artillery for the attackers. They've got none themselves. They do have stalwarts out. We've got shield maidens, a camel, a halberdier sergeants, 2 camels even. We've got a good chunk of stalwarts. So they've still got good units out. It's just the fact that they've got no artillery. And their stalwarts are going to get hard countered by Iron Reapers using flail as well. The attackers have still got Shenjis. Look like at least still 2 units. They've got Imperial Shield Guard as well. They've got Fort Brachio, which should do very well against the camels. This is going to be rough for RoyalLegion to deal with. I like where they've placed themselves at the minute though, so they are basically treb safe there. But as soon as the push comes, they're going to have to push out and face it. And then they're going to start moving themselves into like a treb territory. The defenders still do have 1 full unit of Shenji controlled by Tiroler though. He doesn't want to start bombing now though, and he is bombing.
And we don't have any hero died 3 times, so it's a 15-15.
I think Tiroler should have saved his Shenjis then. He's just wasted his bomb. He's going to have to wait a while until he can bomb again, and now the push is coming in.
It's a bit hard to defend on that point because they let GumFaction to set up on the point, so after it's really hard to defend the point. So
RoyalLegion is starting to lose some heroes as well now, although it is 14-14 looking at it. Unit-wise, it looks like GumFaction are winning that so far as well, even though Dagarax Lancers from behind with some camels look like they're doing some work initially.
It's a lot of hero difference on the fight. As before, a lot of GumFaction heroes are close each other, so during the fight, it's even if you don't have any units, it's a big advantage.
The hero fights, even though this engagement is 11-11 so far, the unit difference is actually closed in as well, so RoyalLegion have done well there. They're slowly stabilising. GumFaction strangely only used 1 artillery. They only placed 1 grape shot on that push as well.
But they come back with another unit. Camels.
Yes, I think they just YOLO'd their units in, didn't they, and went back to supply to get units, like a lot of them. Now they're back on point with more units. And they should be able to consolidate a little bit here and start building up like a blockade so the attackers can't get up. That Treb's good as well to preempt reinforcements coming in. Defenders have only got stalwarts and I think like village watchmen or something on the point at the minute, unit wise, or there's like half a unit of camels as well. And everything's coming up that back staircase.
But they come back with the green unit, like militia. It will be hard.
Yeah. I think Fatal Faction's got some chevaliers in there as well doing some work. So I just saw some, I think it was blue tier crossbows.
They still have
Good
chevalier
in now.
Ah yes, two, one remaining. So
yeah. A lot of camels from the defenders. A RoyalLegion are making a go of this, you know. They're a bit spread out though, and they've not got the quality of units left up. They've at least got 2 units. I think it's village watchmen, maybe pike militia at the best. Hero-wise, it is very even still, and slowly, GumFaction are getting the unit advantage. They're roughly at 200, 150, 200 unit difference now.
They killed 3 heroes on the gate, so
yeah,
they take an advantage.
Slowly pushing. It's a grindy fight though. I thought that would have been more convincing for GumFaction. They've still got 3 artillery to place and 3 trebs, and they're not using them.
Nobody was died 3 times, so everyone is still available.
But GumFaction are on some low tier units as well. It looks like they've got their own village watchmen out. Although they do have Fort Brachio, they've got camels. Got a couple of camels out. Defenders are rotating back in though.
But they cannot rotate a lot because they will be died 3 times.
And the problem they're facing is because GumFaction have got so many heavy classes in the fight, they can't kill the heroes quick enough. But at the same time, because GumFaction have got so many short swords, they're not really able to start murdering all of the defending team's heroes. That's why the fight's actually fairly even so far. I think it's going to start coming down to who's lost the most heroes, and I think it is RoyalLegion.
And they start to be out of the game, so...
Because the units on the field are basically trash. There's like one halberdier sergeant from Ironbeard, so it's almost just devolved into a deathmatch at this point.
Oh, we have 83 T4 unit for GumFaction, so it can be a difference. Currently, it's a trash unit.
There's a lot of blue trash on the point, on the base point, and the Treb's going to come in now and do some work. See, man. We can't see if anybody's already been like removed from the match because they've died 3 times. Both teams have definitely been losing heroes. Units have just been pulled back from the attacking team, so they've got stalwarts. I think that's maybe pike militia or village watchmen again. More stalwarts, which is huge. They should maybe have decided to, you know, join up a little bit and then push in. It doesn't really make a difference. It's all trash. But 1 unit of stalwarts will clear all of the trash.
Yes. Needs to work, but other fight is.
It could still win though. There's only a minute left of the game, so it doesn't. Maybe it won't make a difference now that GumFaction have got the better units and still a little bit of artillery because there's just not enough time left on the map now. There's still 13 heroes for the defenders.
20 seconds. Wait, yes, 20 seconds to get the point.
And because of the hero choice that they've taken, they just don't have the hero killing capacity, and they don't have the units to do the killing for them at the minute.
And
so they start getting the cap off a little bit there, so they might still be able to win.
They may be able to save the point, maybe. 27 seconds remaining. 24.
There's still 9 of them alive as well. I think they've done it. I think they've managed to hold.
I think it's saved. No, it's saved. Finally, it will be saved.
Shows how much I know. The attackers always win, he says, and then both the defending teams win.
Finally,
they're clearing him now though, but it's too late. It's too late.
It's too late. They wait too much. So it's a perfect example. Even if you win, if you wait too long time to take the C point, behind the C point, it's a victory for the defending team. So well done. RoyalLegion.
both
Well
teams.
done.
Yeah, RoyalLegion. I honestly, if somebody would have asked me, fight on Reginopolis, I would have never have guessed that we would have a defending team winning against a defending team winning. Like, not in a million years. So we are going to have a grasslands to decide, grassland assault to decide who is going through to the next stage.
And well played to Gledsheim, 6-1-19. And well played to Elayonara
as well.
Nice name, Elayonara.
And swords, they've got, looks like, what, 5 to 7 short swords?
Only T4 unit, only 6. Purple unit for RoyalLegion. So
yeah, they've got one guy with winged hussars, one guy with chevaliers. That could bite them, because GumFaction have basically got 2 strong, like 2 fights in them with really strong units, which means they're more likely to win the fights. And GumFaction, so RoyalLegion have got a lot of infantry out, so they've got quite a lot of halberdier sergeants. This is going to be interesting. The difficulty with this map is, though, the map is so big. If there's fights going off on multiple sides of the map, it's difficult to actually see what's going on.
If you die on that map, you are really far for each point. So in blue, just to check, GumFaction in blue and RoyalLegion in red. Okay, so
GumFaction doing mass rush on C, so they will get that.
I think they would like to try the same strategy as Fatal Faction we've seen yesterday. To take C,
they're going to get A and C, and then they can go straight for the base
and rotate to the final point directly, maybe.
Yeah.
Because that's what they're going to do. To be able to take the final point, we need 2 points, and then it unlocks the final point, so you can take it.
Yeah, so the A point's just being capped now. There is 1 cavalry unit, though. He's got into the back of the Chevalier archers that were up there, but there's like 3 or 4 guys from GumFaction over there, so they're definitely going to be able to hold that. They're about to take C as well. There's only 2 sets of camels left over there with a longsword that's about to disengage. I think he's going to try and disengage now. RoyalLegion have got B, and they basically have to decide, do they push out for a cap, or...
Yes, as you can see,
they
Bravo.
pull back to their base. And, yeah, he's already down there, yeah.
But
Skybreak's already on the point, on the base
3 hero, Elayonara, Galahad.
Yeah. But when I think GumFaction will end up doing a mass push to their base now.
Yes. As you can see, all heroes rotate from C and go back to the final point. No, finally they go back to maybe to B.
They're going to go to B, yeah.
Because if they're going to
do
take B,
for multicap,
they can cap.
There's a lot on B, though. There is a lot on B. I think they've decided to go base. They've seen everything's basically on B, and they're going to overwhelm base. So you've got RoyalLegion hot bossed now is moving with his winged hussars towards the seaside, but he's seen that there's a good chunk of units from GumFaction pushing towards his base. He is on their flank, but I think By the Alex has seen it. Ooh, hot bossed just... I don't know if that was a misclick, but he just charged his winged hussars into a palisade and basically he's lost his unit.
A lot of people are... All the teams are totally far away from each other. There are a lot of people on A point, B, and...
It's 4 against 4 on the A point. Fairly even fight. There's camels, there's 3 sets of halberdier sergeants against 4 brachios and camels. The 4 brachios and camels are winning now. They just chunked straight through that.
They take a huge advantage of the base point. And
on the base point, Fatal Faction are now going through. So they've obviously placed a few artillery as well. They've got a couple of grape shots up on the little mini cliffs, if you like. And they are slowly going to start being at a Keplat base unless RoyalLegion pull back. The guys that were up at A are moving down to B now as well.
And they try to cap.
They've already capped a few points as well, so they're at 7%. And there's a lot of Fatal Faction at the base point. So RoyalLegion basically can't go and support anywhere else on the map, which leaves a lot of the guys from Fatal... I keep saying Fatal Faction, don't I? From GumFaction. They're collapsing on B now.
GumFaction just have to defend 2 points, and they won.
They win now, yeah.
It's
I mean, if you have 2 points anyway, and it's 100-100, you win as well, I think, if the timer goes down. So RoyalLegion have stabilized, but GumFaction are completely dumping everything they have on B. They may be able to capture that in time now. Because Royal Legion are quite far away. They've got a guy going up to C, but there's camels squatted down there, so he might not. Well, he ain't going to be able to cap it. And the fight is now for B. B's about to be taken. There's a maul and a short sword just jumped on it. That's too slow though, so it's a triple cap. I think that's going to be GG then. That's going to be rough now.
I think so. Yeah, it's finished now.
I mean, Royal Legion have got most of their things at B, but so do GumFaction. GumFaction will be able to just tank that fight. The longer the fight takes, the more points they get. Even if they end up losing the fight, they've still got, I think, more heroes. Like, they haven't lost as many heroes.
You have one hero on A, one on C for GumFaction, and all the team B and the other points.
GumFaction do have the higher tier units as well. They had a lot more tier 5s than Royal Legion did, so Royal Legion are going to struggle doing this. They're sending a couple of guys up to C now, but with a squatted camel unit there from Lorcar playing short sword as well, it's going to be difficult for them to get rid of him. They will eventually, because there's 3 heroes over there, but it's not going to be an easy fight. They are now sending 3 or 4 guys up to A as well, but on A, there's even more to deal with.
They all die, as you can see on RoyalLegion. Yeah. 1, 2, or 3 times, and nobody was killed on GumFaction. Only 1 or 2 heroes. So
and it's GG.
It's a GG. So it's well managed because they prepare well that battlefield. And
yeah, that played into their hands as well. That Royal Legion decided to go full push B, and GumFaction went for A and C at the same time, and then they could just basically decide what they wanted to do.
And well done. GG, yeah. GumFaction. It was 3 minutes, yes. 4 minutes, 5 minutes.
5 minutes, just about 5 minutes.
And well played.
That was a quick fight. I think, like, literally the strategy that Royal Legion decided to do that was almost like rock paper scissors, and Royal Legion had picked rock, and GumFaction started with paper, and it was game over before it even started almost. As soon as they had the 2 caps, it was clear that they were going to put pressure on the base. And as soon as they started putting pressure upon the base, Royal Legion had to react to it. And then they could just collapse back on B, and they got it in time. So, well played.
Well played. RoyalLegion MVP, 105, 49 units.
69 for Ryu Din. He's the real winner.